Thanks so much for being here with us.
Oh, you're so welcome. Your hair has gotten so long.
I know it's growing and growing.
I love it. How are you?
I am good. How are things in Atlanta?
Crazy, good. Our house has no roof on top of it. That's
I
okay.
saw. It's awesome.
I know we're getting there, getting there. Excited to be back in Philly on Sunday. I hope I get to see you.
Yes, you definitely will. I promise. Even if it's like
Cool.
I crash wherever you are, you will see me.
You can totally do that. Well, I know that we'll be at the Fishtown office pretty much for the most of the day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Awesome. I'm typically there Tuesdays, so for sure.
Well, then I'll definitely see you then. Maybe we can grab lunch
So I think
if you can fit it in your schedule.
I know. Terrible. No, it doesn't look like I have anything Tuesday the 3rd. So we can definitely do that if it works for you.
Yeah, I would love it.
Perfect.
Pick a spot.
To see what's open.
Yeah. Are they shutting some things down again?
No, I just mean like there's not a ton of things open for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wasn't sure with like the mandate changing and all that good stuff.
Always news, right?
I know. I know. I was giving it a couple of minutes.
Yep. I'm going to do another quick Facebook blast just in case.
Okay. Well, I've got a super duper cool trick for your database. So people get in here or you're going to miss out.
They are. It's their loss.
I'll be lucky.
There you go, Leah. That's the spirit.
Val, do you want to start with just introducing yourself and about Vesta and your rockstar teams?
Sure. So, hi everybody. My name is Valerie Gonzalez. I have been a realtor with, in Atlanta for the past almost 24 years.
Since you were 2?
I was 10. They don't give licenses to 2-year-olds, only 10-year-olds. I have been with KW now for 10 years, which is very exciting, and came up to Philadelphia 2 years ago, and we were living in Philadelphia, and now we have a team both in Philadelphia and in Atlanta. Today I'm in Atlanta. On Monday I'll be in Philly. Yay. So we started this new team after I'd been director of sales for a mega team out of Atlanta for 5 years. My partner and I started a team last summer, and we're a little team that's growing.
Yeah. Love it.
And I love this class. I actually came up with the title for this class with Deidre because mining my database for listings is something that I've been doing for the past 1.5 to 2 years. And I think it's something that we kind of take for granted that these people are there, and we don't keep in touch with them sometimes enough, and we don't stay top of mind. And then all of a sudden we get really upset when a friend of a friend who knows us lists their house with somebody else. So I'm hopeful that with these tips and tricks that you can also keep top of mind with your database and be the person that they think of when they think of real estate. So we're going to have a really small class, and I know you guys are probably not wanting to be on camera, but it would be really awesome if you would turn on your cameras, and that way we can be really interactive. I promise if you have bed hair, I will not judge. I wash my hair and it still looks like I have bed hair. So, before we get started though, I want to get an idea of Leah and let's see and Juan. What is your business? What does your business look like? How long have you been a realtor? Because since it's a small class, I can tailor it to you. So
hi, I cannot turn on my camera. I just did my workout and just got out of the shower.
Okay, well that's fair. That's fair. Okay. We don't need, NC-17. That's okay.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Juan, thank you for turning the camera on. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm just starting. I'm actually in the process waiting for my license to be active.
Okay.
So, right now I'm just trying to take advantage of every class, I will say, anything that I can just pick on and, certain tips that could be helpful for my.
Perfect. Well, then I'll make sure to talk about that as it relates to you being a new agent. Leah, how long have you been an agent?
I'm a new agent as well, so it's going to be easy for you. I am on a team.
Okay.
I am with Black Label.
Okay, great.
And I am just, getting started too, so it'll be perfect for both of us.
Fantastic. Well, I'm also going to give you some tips for addressing how you can reach out to a database that's already established and has already purchased with the team before. Obviously, all teams have their kind of guidelines and the way they do things. So I'm by no means trying to say this is the right way. This is just something that I worked with a coach of mine about 5 years ago, and I keep doing it, and it's really helpful. And then we've got Zachary. Hi, Zachary. I'm Valerie.
Hi, Valerie. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Excellent. Just curious, how long have you been in real estate?
I'm brand new as well. I just started my onboarding just a few days ago, so I'm not an agent yet, but hopefully we'll be within the next week or so.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, you passed your exam. You're an agent. Yes. You just don't have your license in hand yet.
Yes.
That's okay. All right.
I was hoping to get some out of this because also I'm not from Philadelphia, so I don't have a large database of Philadelphia residents to mine. But I was hoping that I could figure out how to expand that database, et cetera, get tips on that.
Absolutely. So we can definitely talk about that. You missed my intro. I am a realtor in Atlanta and Philadelphia. Okay. So I have I'm in our office in Philly, and then I'm actually currently in my office in Atlanta. And one of the things I will mention, and I can certainly touch on for you specifically, is that I moved to Philadelphia 2 years ago. I knew 5 people. 3 of them were agents. And I built a business. So it's doable. It's very doable.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. So let's just start with the basics. What's a database?
That's my data bank. That's how I make money.
Woo! Dana for the win. Yeah, girl. It is a data bank. That's exactly right. Thank you for calling it a data bank. That is exactly what it is. So where do we start? How do we build it? You guys are all relatively new. Where do we start with our database?
Families that we know.
Family, friends. Yep. We're going to mine our data bank. That's right. Because can you guys see that? I may need
a little light.
A little light. Got it. Who said family and friends?
I did.
Juan, okay, Juan, is all that information for your family and friends located?
In Philadelphia, and some of them, like more like France and South Jersey. I mean, in Jersey, New Jersey.
Okay, I mean, like, where do you keep that information though?
Well, I actually created another email while I was just getting my Keller Williams account. However, I've been trying just to like make phone calls and trying to like keep it in the email that I created.
Okay, so where do you have all of their information?
Well, like I said, I just my email. I asked them for for the information, like address.
Okay, so do you keep it like in your contact book, in your email? Do you have a spreadsheet with it on it? Do you have an address book, old fashioned style, like probably your grandmother kept? Or do you keep like someone's name and phone number?
Well, I was about to create like like a sheet where I have everything like set up, but haven't done it yet. But I've been just like taking information for now, and know that I'm actually starting with the real estate.
Perfect. So now that you guys are almost done onboarding, we have a fantastic CRM system. That's a client relationship manager system called Command. Has anyone heard of that?
Yes.
You've all heard of Command. Okay. So let me tell you, that's where you need to store your information. Okay. But to get started, let's just start with our phone. Here's your data bank right here, right? So we're going to start with building our database, data bank. We're going to look at our phone first. Okay? You're going to start and you're going to talk to everyone in your phone. Does anyone ever go to like, I don't know, are you ever like driving down and or walking by and you see like a sign for, I don't know, a plumber. You're like, ooh, I got to write this number down. You like put it in your phone, but then you don't tag it. You don't put the name. So you've got like phone numbers stored in your phone, or maybe you met like someone at a party. You meet a guy named Mark at a party and you put his name in the phone, in the phone, but you don't remember who Mark is.
Right.
I know you all have that in your phone.
Yeah.
I have at least like 20% of my phone is probably that, right?
Or like guy in purple shirt.
Exactly. So the first place we're going to start is we're going to call everybody. We're going to call everybody in this phone. What is it? Let's see, if I go to my contacts and I go to the very end of my contacts, I'm scared to see 1,471 contacts in my phone. Okay, someone do the math. I heard a statistic at the beginning of the year that said every person in your data bank knows at least 3 to 4 people that are going to move in the next 12 months. If I have, and let's take that 1471 number and let's say I've got some repeat numbers in there. I think my brother's in there like 4 times. I probably have some old phone numbers. Maybe someone is no longer with us and their number's still in my phone, that kind of thing. So let's take out 500 of those phone numbers. Let's just call it an even 1,000. If that statistic is true, which I know it is, and that means that there are potentially, I don't even know how to do the math on that, 3 people times 1,000. Holy moly, is that 3,000?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Could you imagine if you only did 1% of 3,000 transactions? I'm pretty sure that's 30, right?
Yeah.
Not really good at math. I'm really good at what I do, but I need a calculator. All right. So if I was able to do, as a new agent, 1% of the capacity of my data bank. Dana, are 30 transactions in a year good?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's right. What's the average price point in Philadelphia?
I'd say about 350.
What's the average commission in Philadelphia?
2.5%.
Of 350?
It's $262,500
A year.
a year.
Not
Who
bad.
wants to make $262,000 a year? I do. Y'all better all raise your hands.
Very well.
Is anybody getting excited about a data bank?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And I don't even have to pay for those leads because those are
Thank
all
you.
people I know.
That's exactly right. You know what the best part about it is, in addition to the fact that it's free, thank you, Dana, for reminding us, they already know you. They already know and love you. And people genuinely want to help people they know and love. What's the catch?
You got to call them. You got to ask.
You got to ask for it.
Mhm.
You got to ask for it. They don't read minds. You
don't
actually
ask, you don't
have to
get.
ask for it. So what does that look like? How are we going to ask them? How are we going to talk to our database, our data bank? Ooh, someone take $1 for every time I say database and not data bank. I'll pay it to KW Cares.
Nice. All right, $1 on the docket.
That's fine. I'm on the hook for $1. There is no wrong answer. So everybody, interactive class. What are we gonna say to our data bank?
Just reach out and let them know that you're an agent. Remind them periodically that, this is what I do. Are you happy where you live? Things like that.
Yes. So the first step, Zachary, you hit the nail right on the head. The first step is we got to pick up the phone and call them. Okay. So maybe that first phone call, it's just, hey, how are you? I haven't talked to you in 10 years. I'm just updating my data bank. We don't say that to them. Let me be very clear.
You just don't want to add another dollar to the jar.
That's just a term we use. Okay. Hey, Mark, how are you? It's been a long time. I was just going through my phone. I saw your name. I wanted to reach out and say hi. How are things going? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the end of the conversation for that day. Okay. Sometimes it can be really challenging for both parties, for both you and the person receiving the call, to go from, I haven't spoken to you in 10 years to, hey, by the way, I'm a real estate agent now. Do you know anyone who wants to buy or sell or invest in real estate? That can feel awkward, and that can feel disingenuous. So we want to be genuine. We want to be authentic especially with our data bank. So sometimes it takes more than one phone call. Okay. And we're going to talk a lot about the different ways that we will communicate with our data bank. So you guys have heard of like land, air, and sea, right? We're going to do that with our data bank as well. We're going to do calls. We're going to do mailers. We're going to do postcards. We're going to do social media reaching out. So you've really got to come from all angles, right? So I'm going to back up for 1 second. We know we're going to start with our phone, right? What's another good place that we can start that has a list of people already?
Social media?
Yes. So I would look at Facebook, Instagram, all of those. All social media. I don't know. I don't know if you can actually like export a Facebook friends list. You may be able to. I think the last time I cleaned up my Facebook and actually put it into my data bank was about 7 years ago, and I'm pretty certain I did it by hand. Surely there's probably a better way. So maybe Google that and see if that's something that you can do. Otherwise, you may just have to do it the old-fashioned way, individual entry. What I will say is make sure that when you start with your phone, start with your social media, you've got command open and you're inputting it into command. And Dana, is it true that if we give Scott Leroy a spreadsheet, they'll put it into command for us?
They will.
Oh,
For
okay.
free.
For free. There's that free word again. We love that word. And you don't have to spend the time doing it. Have you guys heard the word leverage yet? Yeah. So we're always talking about how we can leverage ourselves and we can have more leverage, right? This is your first spot at having leverage. Send all your information to Scott Leroy and have them input it into command for you. Because quite honestly, and while especially as you're starting out, you will have to be your own assistant for a while. However, the highest and best use of your time is not data entry. So if you can leverage that and have someone do it for free, duh.
So I always recommend do 10 contacts yourself. So you see how to do it.
Oh, that's smart.
By doing it repetitively 10 times. So this could be easy, right? Like people in your household or direct family members, mom, dad, cousins, brothers, sisters. Pick 10 people. Do those 10 yourself. So now you know how to do it. And then let Scott Leroy input the rest of the people in your phone book.
I love that. That's a great idea. You should, yes, she is absolutely right in that you should know how to work the CRM. It is your CRM after all. Okay. Now that we've got it in place, we need to start making those calls. So when are we going to make those calls?
Lead gen time.
We're going to the bank. Who wants to go to the bank? I think we should stop calling it lead gen and just saying, I'm going to the bank.
Love that.
I'm going to write that down. I got to use it again. All right. When are we going to the bank? Don't everybody say it at once.
I like to go to the bank in the morning and in the evening.
Okay. I like that. Twice a day?
Twice.
I like it. I like it. Which one should we definitely do? No
Definitely.
questions asked.
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning. I love that. Do you guys know why?
Hardest tasks first.
That, and what normally happens to the rest of your day? It can totally spin out of control and get crazy. And then you've had a long, crazy day. And then your friend says, don't go to work out, go have a beer with me instead. And you're like, yeah, I would really enjoy that. And then all of a sudden you didn't make your data bank calls. You didn't go to the bank. And then next week it's like, oh, wait, I can't buy the beer because I didn't go to the bank. Everything boils down to going to the bank. I'm really using that as a tagline from now on. I love that. Ari's in the office.
Me on social media going to the bank.
It'll be our little secret. No one knows. Ari's in the office looking at me like, what are you talking about? She's got her headset on. And she's just like, you crazy. I'm excited about going to the bank though. It's super exciting. All right. So Zachary, we said we're going to make one call and we're going to say, hi, hello, how's it going? Okay. So what do you think could happen in the next phone call?
Catch
What are
up
you
and say
doing?
what's new.
Juan, what did you say?
I will just say, hey, what I up? I mean, what are you up to? What are you doing right now? Since we haven't spoken in a while, so we just, having just that conversation
Yeah,
right away. That's why we ask first. How
that's
you
exactly right.
doing?
Don't overthink it. It's be a person. Yes, you're going to the bank, and yet you are also a person. How are you? What's going on? What is one of the natural questions we ask people that we know?
What's new with you?
Beside that, more specifically, what do we ask them about? After we talk about friends or we talk about their family, what's usually the next topic?
Where are you working? I mean, where are you working at?
It's usually how's work going,
Yeah.
right? Because we know what they do. Don't you know what most of your friends do?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's work going? And if I ask you, Zachary, how's work going? And we chit chat about how your work is going, what's the natural question that comes next?
How's work with you?
Exactly. So the conversation will eventually get to real estate. I'm here to tell you it's probably not going to be the first conversation. Unless they know that you just got your license, which that may be the case. I have this one call that comes through my Google number that
Your bank
never
is.
bank is calling. Bank is calling. Thankfully, someone else got that call. Okay, so just don't get discouraged if on the first phone call you don't talk about real estate. In fact, probably 8 times out of 10, it's not going to be a real estate call. The next one, you may have a little bit more to talk about. How's work going? They reciprocate. How's work going with you? So that's going to be a more natural progression. Okay. So what do you think is important about making these calls? We know we've made one already. How do we know when to make the second one?
Does it depend on what our first conversation was about?
It might. Let's say your first conversation could be with a close friend, and maybe it was, hey, let's grab drinks next week, or let's go to dinner, let's go to the ball game, whatever that may be. So that let's say we can tier your people in your data bank, right? I almost said it, your data bank. So we've got like your close friends, then we've got like the second level of friends, and then the third level of friends. And then we've got those like periphery friends that everyone has, right? So you want to tier them also. They're going to be the people in your data bank that you're talking to on a weekly basis. They probably already know that you're in real estate. Right now, we just want to make sure that they know that. And then we're going to prepare you to start asking for the business. Because it's not just good enough that they know, you actually have to tell them, hey, you know what? I need help. I have a goal set for myself. I want to help these many people in the next 12 months, and I'm going to need help getting to that number. Will you please help me? Did that sound like a sales pitch?
Not really.
I'm just talking to my friend.
I'm sure. I know I have friends that call and ask for favors all the time.
All the time. And here's the favor you're asking for. All I ask is that when you think of real estate, think of me first. That's all. When you hear someone talking about real estate, please think of me first and how I may be able to help them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Any questions about how to find and establish your data bank or how to set it up? Okay. So I'm going to give you a little tip. You should cycle through your entire data bank at least once every quarter. It could be that you have a larger data bank. I have 1,400 people in my phone. They are not all in my data bank. I will be very honest and transparent. In my data bank, I probably have, I'll tell you exactly what I have.
800.
No, not even. That people that I probably have about just around 350 in my personal data bank. In my team's data bank, we have about 3,700, but that's a little bit different. But my personal one, about 350, and then I've take that data bank and I categorize it, and then I have this list of 10%, probably it's a little bit over 10%. I would say the top 20% of my data bank, those people I love on, like my life depends on it, because they support our business. They constantly, and without even having to ask, support our business. And so those are the people, and that's going to be kind of like mining your data bank 2.0. They constantly support the business, and we call them advocates. They advocate for us all the time. When they hear real estate, they scream our name. They don't just think of us, they scream our name. And that's something that you want to build towards as well.
There's nothing I love more than someone calling my phone that I don't know and says, hey, Madison just recommended you. She said you were the person to call for real estate. I need help buying a home.
And thanks for mentioning that, because we want to make sure that everyone understands we are their one-stop shop for real estate. Even if they're not buying a home and they have a question about real estate, you want to make sure that they come to you. Think of yourself as the one-stop resource for all things real estate for your data bank. And that's how you have to approach it from the very beginning. You've got a question about a school district, I can help. You've got a question about property taxes, I can help. You've got a question about building grants, I'm your girl, I can help. Now, do I have all the answers?
No.
Probably not. Do I know how to find them?
Yes.
Yes. I can still help. So don't let the fact that you don't know everything yet prevent you from still saying you can help. And the reality is, I've been in this business for almost 24 years. I don't know everything. I don't. It would be impossible to know it, because things change constantly. Markets change, laws change, codes change. I know how to find out though, and I know where to go to get the information. So again, I say that so that you know and you can have the confidence to say that you can be of service and you can be of help to your data bank. Okay, so we were just talking about talking to the data bank at least 4 times a year. You're probably going to do it more than 4 times a year. The minimum, the bare minimum, is talking to them quarterly. And there's a really great trick. Do you have that cheat, Dana? That the A&W and the B&E or whatever it is?
From Bold.
I can find it. I have it somewhere. There's a really cool way of reaching out to your data bank where it separates, it gives you 2 letters of the alphabet. And so there are 26 letters in the alphabet. And if you pair them up, then you have 13 pairs, which equals 13 weeks. How many weeks in a quarter? 12. So
We
if you
can't do math here.
I know, it's okay. So if you put two of the pairs together, then you have 12. So it tells you exactly which letters of the alphabet to call weekly. And then that way you can get through the data bank. And the other thing that it gives you is that it pairs like A and W together because of the percentages of statistics of how many people have A names and how many people have W names. So you're not like making 200 calls one day and 3 the next 1 week and 3 the next week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The only thing you have to do is you have to pick like whether you're starting with the first name, if you're going to do it by first name or last name. And that's the only challenge. But whatever you do, it will work. So again, you take those, I know it starts with A and W. So you take the A's and the W's, and that is who you call the first week. Anyone whose last name starts with A, anyone whose last name starts with W. I think the next week is like B and E or something like that. We'll find the list for you. So I know I have it somewhere. So we know we're going to talk to them. And then we know that we're going to check in with them on social media. So I'm going to give you a little trick for social media. It's called the 555. I kind of like to do this in the morning and in the afternoon. Let's just say you do it at least once a day. So that's going to be 5 reactions to a post. A like, a heart, a hug, whatever. One of the big reactions. Then you're going to do 5 interactions with a post. So let's say, your friend posts something and someone made a comment on it. You comment on that as well. And the last thing you're going to do is 5 direct messages. And I think this is good to do on both platforms. And when I say platforms, I mean specifically Facebook and Instagram. Twitter is not ideal for this. Twitter's not ideal for your data bank, in my opinion. However, on Facebook and Instagram, you can do this all day long. Do you guys know why it's important to do like the conversations, like the interaction of like a comment?
I'm pretty sure it's so they also start seeing you more in your posts.
That's right. So it affects the algorithm of interaction. And so do you remember, I don't think it does this anymore, but do you remember when like Facebook would say, oh, so-and-so commented on so-and-so's post, and it would kind of tell you like a running tally of like what people were doing. So it doesn't really tell you that anymore. And yet we know that that interaction still affects the algorithm. So if 2 of your friends are talking, maybe you don't know the other person very well, and you may still be friends, but you don't know each other that well. You don't interact very often. But if you comment on that interaction, now that other person is going to start seeing more of your things come through the feed. That's what that means. But the 555 is it's an easy way to keep in touch with people on a daily basis. I mean, let's be honest. You're going to be on the platforms anyway, right? Scroll, scroll, scroll. You might as well go to the bank when you go to the platform. Be intentional about it. Come from contribution. Do you guys understand what that means? Coming from contribution or coming with value? What's a way that we can, as realtors, come from contribution on social media?
So one thing I love to share is when I find out something awesome and I want to share that with my, contacts, my social media. So example, when mortgage rates dropped, I was like, hey guys, don't know if you're aware, but mortgage rates are below 4%. If you're thinking about buying a home, I would love to talk to you. If you're thinking about refinancing your home, I would love to share my insight with you.
I think that's fantastic. Does it have to be specific to something going on in the real estate world?
No, I also love like new great restaurants.
Yeah. I just checked out this new restaurant. I just went to see, this exhibit at the whatever. Live music is coming back.
Yes.
I'm excited about it, right? So it could be something like that. It's just interacting. It's being human. It's being yourself. It's, what are your passions? What do you get excited about? Share that with your friends and your audience, because it is an audience. Any questions around that? Okay. All right. So 2 other very important things to keep in mind with your database. When was the last time you got a card in the mail?
I got one this week.
Did you get excited?
I did.
Yeah. Why do we get excited about snail mail?
So rare.
It is rare. You're exactly right.
It's not a bill.
Yeah.
It's not a bill. That's right. Maybe there's money. I don't know. There could be. So I would encourage everyone, and I don't care what your handwriting looks like. It's not about that. This is one of my stashes of note cards. I like stationery. This one happens to be monogrammed. It doesn't have to be super fancy. I think these cost $9 at Paper Source. You can go to TJ Maxx and get a box of 40 for like $12 probably. Yeah. Let me tell you the power of a handwritten note. It is so underused. It's sad. So sad. But we all get so excited when we get one in the mail. And what is something that you can do at least once a year for a client or a friend that you can put in the mail that they would be super excited to receive?
Scratch off.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking a little bit more basic. What is something we all have? It happens once a year.
Birthdays.
Yes, a birthday. A birthday. Guess what command does? It helps you keep track of people's birthdays. You probably know your friends' birthdays. Where's another great place to find out birthdays?
Facebook.
Yes. Did you know that if you go, I can't remember how you get to it, but you can see the birthdays starting, all the birthdays that are listed for January, all the birthdays listed for February. Every month of the year has a list of, if they've put their birthday on their profile, it's there.
Yeah, what I do is anytime I see someone's birthday today, I click on that and it shows you all of the upcoming birthdays, and then you can go through and see.
That's right. So that's a great thing to do for like those direct messages. A direct message, a birthday message via direct message is a really great thing for the 555. What I'm encouraging you to do is to get ahead of the birthdays and start planning. So this is something you guys can incorporate into your next year. Start, the month before, let's say August is coming. August starts on Sunday. If you took some time today to see all the birthdays for the first 2 weeks in August, you can send everybody a birthday card. I think postage is 50 cents nowadays. I'm not really sure. I think, for the cost of maybe 75 cents, you can put a smile on someone's face on their birthday. And what do you put inside the card?
Business card.
Just in case they didn't know which Zachary it was. Here's my gift, my new business card. No, I'm kidding. But if you feel inclined, you may give them like a $5 Starbucks card. I want to keep it simple and inexpensive for you right now. So I don't encourage you to do Starbucks. However, the handwritten note in and of itself is going to be so powerful. It's going to be the present itself.
Right.
You just have to get consistent and build a system around it. And this is where command comes really handy because it reminds you that birthdays are coming up. So now instead of having to go on Facebook to figure out whose birthdays it is, you can just pull up all your birthdays in command. I'm pretty sure also that if you have their email address, you can go in design, do a quickie happy birthday post and email that as well. So basically 3 touches on their birthday, a direct message, maybe it's a phone call. You know, I don't call every person that I wish happy birthday to. Maybe I should. And it's going to be probably a message and it's going to be a handwritten note card.
And the note card will probably get there a few days after anyway, so it creates.
Well, if you do it, if you plan it out, you could do it in anticipation of the birthday.
Right.
You know,
like what I like about doing it, so it comes a few days later, is you've already sent them a birthday message, and they say, "Oh, that's nice." And then like 5 days later, then they get the card, and they're like, "Oh, they sent a card," and it kind of creates a longer lasting interaction, I guess.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah, that does work. That definitely works. What else can you do for note cards?
Anniversaries.
So one of the things I've always done is I utilize social media to be able to give me content to put like in a note card also. So for example, if I know that I'm writing, you know, note cards for Bob, Sue, and Jim, I'm going to go see what Bob, Sue, and Jim have been doing lately and maybe write something about that in my note card. Oh my gosh, it looks like you went to Hawaii. How cool. I've never been. I want to hear all about your trip. Let's get together soon. It could be something as simple as that. Right. Maybe they got a job promotion. Congratulations. I saw your promotion. That's excellent. Maybe they got pregnant. You're having a baby. How awesome. So that, or they just had a baby, you know, whatever it may be, just things where look for small things that you can celebrate and be, it's all in the details, right?
Right.
Any other suggestions or ideas? Dana, do you do anything different?
Sometimes I like to send like just because cards, like completely random, you know. And I found that when I do that, like the random ones, I was just like, hey, I was thinking of you and a past moment, you know, that happened. Like, I can't believe it was 2 years ago. We were in New Orleans together, you know, miss you.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that like the other person picks up the phone and calls me and is like, oh my God, I just got your card. That was so thoughtful. Or I get a text message. It's almost like a reverse lead generating for my data bank.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything, I mean, I think the out of the blue ones, just because, are probably the best.
Something that just when you said that, Dana, it made me think of it, because if I watch a movie or listen to a new album or listen to a new band, and I think of people. So that would be a great way, I watch this movie, you would love it, it's right up your alley. Or, listen to this band, I've been listening to them and I think it's your kind of music, things like that as well.
Even with a picture, like sometimes I send a picture to a friend or, a group of friends. We spend some time together, but after a while we don't have any communication at all. But then we start, back in like conversations or sending messages, even with a picture or image or anything like that.
Yeah, anything. I'm sure you've all gotten the text, hey, I just saw this, I thought of you, it made me think of you. How does that, that makes me feel amazing. It's just so heartwarming that, we're all in these busy lives that we lead and someone actually thought of me. It's sweet. It's really sweet. So, again, be genuine, be you, be intentional about it. And that's the other thing about text messaging. We didn't really talk about that as a means for, the database. But that is also a huge way to talk to our database. Again, it's wherever you are in communications with them. So like I said before, some friends you call, some friends you text message, some friends you just message on social media. So again, be consistent and systematic about all of these communications, but don't just do one avenue. You've got to do them all. That's what I meant by land, sea, and air. You've got to do it all. We've got an hour for this, right, Dana?
Yep.
Okay. So that is how I would get started on my database. And I want to touch on something that Zachary mentioned because he said he's new to Philadelphia. And I went through the exact same thing when I moved to Philly. And one of the things that I did to meet more people, because I didn't have a huge network of friends or connections in Philly, was I joined a couple of different things. So I love to read and I like the idea of a book club because it helps me stay accountable. So I found a book club that was just forming through Nextdoor. And, outside of my comfort zone, I went and met 15 total strangers at City Winery for our first meeting 2 years ago. And to this day, we still meet. It was all via Zoom last year, and it's still via Zoom because now a couple of us have moved away. And we still, with that, I read at least 12 books last year, which was pretty awesome. And it's reading for fun, not for business. The other thing that I did was I went to a networking event and I got involved with a charity, a fundraising charity, and I ended up being on their board of directors. That was not my intention when I went to the networking event, and yet that's what happened. And I'm still highly involved with that, even though I'm in Philly. I'm in Atlanta currently, still very involved with that organization, and I'm still on their board. So these are things that I recommend. You don't have to go get on a board of an organization, but what I would recommend is pick something that you like. I also like art, and I ended up getting a membership at the Fleischer Art Center, and I took a couple of classes there. I didn't do it with the intention of only getting real estate out of it. I did it because it was something that was good for me. I enjoyed doing it. It was a way to meet new people. Guess what people ask you when they meet you? What do you do?
Yeah, I joined a kickball league. It was just like a fun Thursday night kickball league with the intention of let's be a little more active. And I ended up getting, a listing and a $500,000 purchase out of it.
Fantastic. I've been thinking about joining an axe throwing league, and this has kind of spurred me on. I even looked into it and I put it on the back burner, and this just reminded me, go join that league.
Yeah. Find something that you enjoy doing that's good for your mental health, that's good for your physical health. Also, it helps relieve stress. never thrown an axe, but I sure would have
It's fun.
liked
It's a
to.
lot of,
I'd like to put one of those in my office.
yeah. No, it's a lot of fun.
Dartboard. I may bring it back. Anyway, do something that you enjoy. Be intentional about doing it. Yes, you're doing it because you enjoy it. You're also doing it to meet more people, right? It will lead to real estate talk, and it will lead to business. It may not lead to business in the first 6 months, you know, and as long as you go in it with that expectation. However, keep at it. The name of the game is to build your data bank and keep adding people to your data bank. Remember,
one other easy thing when you are getting involved, like I would always wear a Keller Williams baseball hat. Like it's a small little trigger thing that people would pick up on.
I have to tell you, we had like 2 trips in the past 3 weeks, and I was wearing a MAPS coaching mask. The KW is tiny, and it's just the K and the W. Like you have to know the logo to know it's attached to Keller Williams. I think 4 or 5 different people stopped me at the airport and on the plane because I kept like going, oh yeah, it's that mask. I picked it because it was black, matched my outfit. And 5 people stopped me at the airport, including a lender connection that is now been added to our data bank of vendors.
Wow. Yeah, it's very powerful because I'm not sure. I think you guys got the backpack. I mean, the new one.
Yeah.
I like going out with my backpack, even though I don't have my license yet. But of course, I'm already in.
That's right.
Very powerful because last week I was in this diner. So I had my backpack. I was, on my computer. So one of the waitresses like, hey, do you work? I'm actually thinking about buying and this and that. Do you know something about the area? So, it's true. It's like just with the logo, it's very, it's really helpful. And you already know that you're working for a really good like broker and company.
That's
that is.
right. That's exactly right. And you've probably heard this, don't be a secret agent.
Yes.
Don't be a secret agent. Like I cannot stress that enough. Short of, I want you to scream it from the mountaintops very nicely via social media and telling your friends.
I do have to run though. Sorry guys. It's been a great
We
session.
are coming upon a close. Any ahas, questions, last minute? I hope you learned something today. Did you learn something?
Absolutely did. Absolutely did. It was fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm really glad I joined.
My pleasure. I'll be in Fishtown all next week. If you're all around, come say hi.
Yeah, and Val, if you find that bold call list, if you can share that with me, I'd love to share that with everyone.
I will search my documents on my computer because I know it's in there.
Awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, you guys. Great to meet you all.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.